welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel 1 Minute Off. I recently just hit 400 subscribers thanks to my last video on teen tragedy songs, so if you haven't seen that yet, feel free to check it out. I'm also an actual musician myself. I sing and I play guitar and write songs, and I have a few singles out on Spotify and anywhere else you listen to music, so if you want to check that out, please feel free to do that too. You know, we live in a very exciting time in history where technology can really help us create the media that we really want to create. We've seen George Lucas change the film screen landscape with CGI. We've seen incredible improvements in audio recording. For example, every time the villain speaks in Madame Web.
It's a good thing you had no idea today was the day you were going to die.
And now we're entering, or arguably already dipped in, this era where artificial intelligence is also helping us create art. Recently I was scrolling on Threads, which is horrible but not as horrible as Twitter. And I saw that the unknown from the AI Willy Wonka experience is getting their own movie. You know, the creepy entity that went viral for making children cry at the festival that was completely AI generated. Yeah, we're doing that. And one of the things I really like is the horror genre. You know, I like a lot of different forms of horror media. I'm all over the board when it comes to horror, you know, old or new media. I think it's pretty timeless, and like everything, there's good and bad from all the eras of it. I mean, campy horror is this like entire subgenre where some of the worst effects I've ever seen are used for a total of $8, and the movie makes millions, and it's also incredible. But I've been going through this thing lately where I don't think I've really seen a horror movie or show that has really like scared me, like really shook me to my core, you know? So lately I've been switching it up from, you know, shows and movies to online horror content, watching people play horror games, playing ARGs. Do you play ARGs? You just do them? I don't know. And that's been really cool to like kind of discover the different, you know, forms of media that horror can come in and be super effective in. There are some really, really good ARGs out there made by some really talented people. So for this video today, I've decided to go on the, you know, the contemporary pinnacle of original thought and creativity, which is of course TikTok, to find what some of the best and brightest minds are creating in the horror genre. And what I found, and by I found, of course, I mean typed into the search bar on TikTok the word horror and then exited out of the app and then waited a few hours for the algorithm to get what I wanted to see, was something for sure. By far the most prominent account that I found, really the one leading the revolution, is Urban American Horror, which seems to be a TikTok account with over 1 million followers now, which is focused on telling the stories of creepypastas and cryptids and other scary guys. And that'd be fine. You know, nothing's wrong with that, storytelling, but they're weird. They make me feel something for sure. Some kind of way. Now, you know, I'm a quarter century old. I grew up with the internet before it was all ads and bots. When it comes to creepypastas, you can say I've read the classics. Yeah, to this day, I don't like looking at like Jeff the Killer or the Russian sleep experiment photos. I don't like it. It freaks me out. It always has since I was a kid. But, you know, there's something about, you know, reading about a scary story like that and then coming across something like this.
I was forced to stay awake for 30 days straight. They call it the Russian sleep experiment. They put 5 of us into a room and released a gas that made it impossible to go to sleep. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that. So this account seems to like tell the point of view from the cryptids, I guess, is their kind of twist on it. And I don't know if you picked up on it, but it was completely done by AI. Completely. I'll show you just one more so you can kind of get more of a feel for these. I know, they're weird.
If you read the poem I wrote out loud, you might die. Hello, my name is Tamino, the creator of the poem Tamino's Hell. I was a boy who lived in Japan. I had very strict parents who would commonly give me cruel and unfair punishments, and was beat by my sisters. One day, I wrote this poem about my journey through hell, fueled by my sisters. But be careful, do not read it out loud. My parents found this poem and dragged me to the cellar and locked me in for several days.
Those are just a few examples. Yeah, there's like, it's basically just like the still photo that they take and they make the mouth move, and it's freaking weird, man. I don't know how to feel about it. Like I said, these videos are AI generated, obviously, down to the photos that they use in the videos to tell the backstories and stuff. But the biggest problem with these is that some of them are just these creepypastas, right? Just these online internet stories that have been around forever. They're not real. They're, they're just like modern, I guess they're modern urban legends. I don't know. But some of them like are based in truth or like actual urban legends from like actual cultures around the world. And there's no distinction between the two. Are you familiar with La Llorona? She's a vengeful ghost from Mexico. Well, why am I telling you? I'll let her tell you.
Do not let your kids around the water in New Mexico. Hello, my name is La Llorona. I was once a beautiful woman in Mexico, and I was married to a Spanish man and had 2 kids. My husband traveled for work, but always came back to visit. Until one day his visits stopped altogether. I was heartbroken and angry to get back at him for leaving us. I decided to drown our 2 kids in the river. When I came back to my senses, it was too late. I spent every day crying and mourning for my children. I couldn't stand the pain, so I threw myself into the river. But even though I pass, I am still stuck on the earth, still looking for my children today. You might hear me say, if you hear me calling, stay as far away as possible. I might confuse you as my child and snatch you and drag you into the river so you can be with me.
So, we have these obvious problems, right? Like, the video, I think pretty much anyone can see that the women in that video none of them are the same woman. They're all AI-generated images. Which begs the question, would it have been that difficult to get, the 2 photos of the same young random Mexican woman?
But even though I pass, I am still stuck on the earth.
But even though I pass, did nobody do like just a quick little proofing in the script here, or am I putting too much thought into it? Is this really what happens when you just type a prompt into Sora or whatever and let it do its thing? I mean, it's working. Look how many views this has. You could go on like a rabbit hole down this, like you could do this forever. Clearly it's also working on me. But the problem is there's no distinction here. I wouldn't call this La Llorona backstory explained detailed. Backstory explained detailed. I'd call it a pretty, pretty simple version of it. I'd call it, someone typed the story of La Llorona into ChatGPT and asked them to come up with a TikTok script, and then didn't do anything else besides that. Some of them are just like straight up characters from children's movies and books. It's got like more than a few videos that are just distorted versions of children's media that claim, the unknown backstory behind the characters. Oh, what do we have here? Oh God, is that a Teletubby?
I passed away trying to put a TV in my stomach.
What? What?
For all the sunshine and happiness, there was darkness and loneliness. We were 4 children, psychotic children.
I don't think that's like a medical term, psychotic children. I think that's Do you see what I mean?
The yellow car was a child with a facial disfigurement.
Wait, she just had a facial disfigurement. If she just had a facial disfigurement, why was she in a mental facility for psychotic children?
Me, I fell into a fire when I was young. Our only source.
I fell into a fire when I was young. No more backstory on that. Just I fell into a fire when I was a kid. Don't worry about it. That's why I'm at the hospital for psychotic children.
We didn't want it to happen, so we came up with the idea to put them into our stomachs.
Okay. Maybe they are a little bit psychotic. I don't know.
They were too big to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah, obvious. See, this is just so silly.
So we tried to cut them open and put the television inside.
You tried to cut them open. Oh, so you cut open the kid. So it sounds like, the way this is written, the way the AI wrote this, is that it sounds like they cut the televisions open, then put the televisions inside.
But we didn't make it.
But see, this is the scariest part. Look at all these look at the comments. I loved Teletubbies as a child. Poe is my favorite. Is this true? Is there really a mental institution called La La Land? Now I know why I used to cry when Teletubbies came on. I felt that energy. No, you don't. What energy? energy. They need to make a movie out of this instead of a children's show. No, I don't think they do. Lalo was also starved and ended up with liver failure, which is why he turned yellow from it. Why are people adding to this? What is happening? Oh yeah, this one looks... Have you heard of the Winnie the Pooh mental disorder theory? Or this one seems good.
The characters of Winnie the Pooh are made to represent mental illness, and none of us are real. Hello.
I have a lot of questions about that opening statement, but I don't like how it just, like, the mouth is the only thing that moves.
All of us struggle with our own mental illness. For example, Christopher Robin suffered with schizophrenia.
I've heard this theory too, but it's like, it's just one of those things that, like, people make up.
Another example is...
That is not, it's not how you spell Eeyore. Yeah, I've heard that, yep.
And Tigger has attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Yeah,
Also known as...
I heard this Reddit theory, yep.
And the mouse.
Oh my god, this is basic research stuff here. It's Roo. First of all, it's Roo. Second of all, it's kangaroo. It's not a mouse. It's a kangaroo. So, do your research. Urban American horror.
Was born with autism.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Thrilling stuff, isn't it? Winnie the Pooh was created in 1928. ADHD was added to the DSM until 1968. Nice try, though. Oh, okay, that's one way to... Yeah. It just kind of switches between, distorted children's media, urban legends from different cultures, and just straight up just Reddit, just Reddit stories, man. One of the things I found myself doing a lot is, like, reading the comments, obviously. That's kind of what you do. And it's scary because a lot of them are, like, seem to be younger children, right, who are confused, to say the least. When I, like, read the comments and see people getting, like, genuinely freaked out and saying they won't be able to sleep tonight because of this, like, twisted version of a story made up by someone on 4chan years ago, or these twisted versions of, like, urban legends, that's what gives me this, like, slow burn jump scare more than anything else, There's no clear distinction or disclaimer whether or not the story being told in each of these videos is real or based on a myth or based on an internet story or based on nothing at all, and just pulled out of somebody's Reddit ass. And I feel like that might become a little bit of a problem when you have videos about, actual kids who really went missing, stuck between your American Cryptid videos. This is an actual, this video is on his page. You can go look it up if you really want to, but this is an actual kid who went missing. But again, there's nothing down here that would indicate that. And all of the comments only ever are saying, like, what if he's still there in the forest? What if the child they found is not him? If you were just like a little kid, whatever, 11, 12, scrolling on TikTok and you just came across this on your For You page, how on earth would you know? How on earth would you know that was a real story and all the rest are myths? Like, imagine being this kid and finding this on the internet one day with, like, millions of views, this messed up AI-generated fantasy version of your, like, personal traumatic story for just anyone with a phone to read and hear about, like, form their own opinions on. Like, imagine the, like, emotional re-traumatization. Of course, this isn't gonna happen to everybody. The kids who aren't old enough to, like, really even be reading young adult novels are just gonna see this between scrolling scary videos and just absorb it. Maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, but, like, I don't know. Not to be like, that bitch, but I do feel like, the human ability to, like, suspend disbelief, which is, like, supposed to be a fundamental aspect of enjoying any media narrative, is under an ever constant and exponentially increasing threat with this sort of AI content. As these technologies get better and better, they're gonna be able to make stuff like this pretty much on demand instantly. It starts to blur the line between, human creativity and machine output, right? Like, there's something about these videos that makes me uneasy, because I know that they weren't made by a human, but, a computer, and I can decipher that from, the first frame and sound of the video. It takes the possibility of a non-manufactured raw reaction completely out of the equation for me. All that's left is this, like, feeling of, like, undeniable unease, not from, like, the cryptid or the scary story, but, like, the future of emotions in consuming media made by AI. These AI systems rely on existing content to make content, so the fact that this account is just blending everything from urban legends of actual real cultures to children's media with no darker origin than, they were made to sell toys, to actual cases of real missing children is pretty dangerous, if you ask me. Like, I'm old enough to know that, like, this is a creepypasta and this is, like, a real life tragic event, but I can't say the same for every, like, 10-year-old who's gonna see these. Dude, I remember not being able to sleep for a few nights after reading the Baraska story. And I remember thinking it was, like, 100% real back then, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a kid and just come across this all on your own. It sort of feels like, you know, the next ring in the ladder, so to speak, from those, like, edgy content farms that are directed towards kids on YouTube. Like, I've had people tell me that both children and older people have seen this content, like people in their lives, and they've just found nothing super weird about it, which is really concerning. It's pretty clear, even just like a minute into any of these, that no one's doing any editing. There's no proofreading here. So the lack of actual human oversight is concerning too, especially when it's content that's like not necessarily directed towards kids, but is easily searchable for anybody with an impressionable little young mind. I was like to say, like, I'm not trying to say there's no cool AI generated stuff out there. There is some horror content that's pretty impressive. The Account Fears film makes some really amazing short form movies, which are actually original, so if you do want to go check those out, I mean, feel free. They're really entertaining. I've been watching them for a few hours. AI can be helpful, right? Especially in terms of like production, increasing efficiency when it comes to, you know, physically producing this media. But relying on it for ideas, right, seems to be leading us down a path of more of this kind of stuff. And I'm already sick of it. I don't know. What do you think? Is AI helpful in horror storytelling or no? Do you think the internet, which is, you know, originally this harbinger of creativity, can avoid AI in this kind of storytelling horror content, or is it too late? Is it already impossible? Is this the beginning of a terrifying era of generated AI videos, or will it die off in a year? Does this even like actually matter at all? Or is it just like the newest way to scare kids on the internet, and they'll probably be fine? Thanks for watching all the way through. I stumbled upon this account. I just kind of went down a rabbit hole of it, and I wanted to make a video on it, and I'm not even sure, like, at the end of it, now that I've recorded it, it's like, yeah, is it bad? It's uncomfortable. Thanks for watching all the way through. I do, you know, like, enjoy covering this kind of stuff on TikTok, so if you've got any weird, interesting AI topics on there you'd like me to talk about, feel free to leave it down below. I'm Abby, this is 1 Minute Off, and if you like this video and subscribe to the channel, I will personally go out and fight El Sombreron. Bye!